The night at the remote border village was rather brief. At the crack of dawn, we were woken up by our linkmen. They informed us that the onward trip further north across the Ethiopian border was just about to begin. A short distance into the Ethiopian territory, the ride in the old Land Rover ended abruptly, and our minders led us on what ended up to be a 3-hour trek deeper into the interior. We noticed that one of our contacts occasionally stepped aside to frantically make calls. Then the walk resumed through the still darkness and on to daybreak. Our linkmen adorned plain civilian clothes, perhaps to disguise themselves. They would pass for ordinary citizens. Throughout the long trek, our OLF minders carefully covered their tracks, literally. We noticed the last man on the queue swept the path with a branch to remove any trace of footprints. We finally came face to face with the first OLF rebels who had just woken up. This point marked the radius of their territory. Hello. How are you? Hello. I come. Yeah. So we've been walking for almost 2 hours now, and this is the first point that we get to meet the OLF fighters. We are told they are more on the other side, and that is where we are heading now. Strict instructions are issued by the unit commander for 4 fighters. They were to be our bodyguards. But the rebels still regarded us with the highest suspicion. With a whole day's journey ahead of us, the fighters ensure they have enough food to take them through the wilderness. It is this moment that we first experience a culture shock occasioned by a rather unusual practice of feeding each other. This is considered here a sign of togetherness and unity. This small band of about 20 OLF fighters are said to camp at this site to ensure our safe entry into the radius of the rebel territory. After the meal, the journey resumed. We headed deeper into southern Ethiopia, our destination being an OLF training camp. The walk took us through the harsh terrain, a lonely land that was seemingly traversed only by small bands of armed people. This, we established, is home to the shadowy Oromo Liberation Front, OLF. The Ethiopian army tactic against these rebels has been to ambush them as they traverse the wilderness, and this has been partially successful, and we noticed the rebels are deeply cautious of this. Liban, the unit commander, orders the rebels to set camp in groups of 3 at this point. Dried riverbanks, vegetation offer good camouflage, and shed of guerrilla fighters. This was the core of OLF's southern front. Our bodyguards and the commander clear away shrubs and soften the earth for some time. We realized they were preparing our bed. This was to be home for a week. It was in this remote location that we witnessed the training exercises of these ragtag fighters. And as the live ammunition exercises continued, Liban, the unit commander, constantly kept in touch with the outside world using a satellite phone.
After working for almost a whole day, this is where we're going to spend our night, our first night in the bush.
Gurache, which means black in Oromo language, is only 19 years but highly respected for his bravery. He is ordered to keep an eye on us in case of an overnight attack. A hyena's laughter, attracted by food leftovers, and the songs of the rebels keeping vigil in turns, characterized our first night in the bush. We are woken up by war chants and war songs. These are the rebels who claimed they were returning from the front line where they had reportedly engaged Ethiopian troops. Song and dance is part of the lifestyle of these rebel fighters. They sing to motivate each other, and through songs they share the stories of their lives. But there isn't plenty in the surroundings of these fighters. Food is so scarce that the slaughter of a camel is considered a major ceremony. And not a single piece of meat or single drop of blood is allowed to go to waste. They strongly believe camel blood would give them the strength to fight on. But we could not quite understand why they ate most of the meat raw. Perhaps it is the lifestyle of the bush, perhaps no time to light fires or the luxury to cook. In turns, the rebels drink from the camel's water storage, a source of water in the desert during drought. In this vast wilderness, they believe the green substance contains the immunity to fight diseases. And just perhaps it does.